But I just wanted to share one of the items in Cabinet today, which is significant, the agreement on how we will approach the windfall gains in the energy sector. People remember that back in September, the European Council agreed that we'd find a mechanism to claw back excess profits from both the generating sector, who are not using gas, and from the fossil fuel industries. In our case, a solidarity contribution they're looking from the likes of oil or gas companies. In our case, the Carb gas field, the main business that would apply to. So we've agreed the mechanisms, and our department, I think, has done a really good job in cooperation with the Department of Finance in terms of setting out the mechanisms that we will apply. Firstly, on the electricity sector, and this is for, as I said, recognising that the likes of wind power companies are getting a very high price because of the high price of gas, and that's leading to an excess profit that's not earned, as it were. And we're looking at this mechanism of clawing that back. The European Commission set out parameters in which you could apply. They recommended that, well, it's over 1 megawatt, so it's any smaller, very small generators, it doesn't apply. They said that it could be a cap at 180 euros a megawatt hour, but you could go lower if you wanted. So we're doing that. We're going to apply a rate of 120 euros a megawatt hour, which is similar actually as it happens in our first two renewables auctions in the last 2 years, similar to the cap we set there. We think that's a fair level. It recognises that actually Irish wind power is probably stronger than most other countries, so a tighter band is more appropriate. We're not applying those rates to the oil and coal generators, Tarbert and Moneypoint, because we don't want to see them turned off. We're very tight on power, as everyone knows, in this time. So it is not appropriate that we would apply to those two stations in the same way. Secondly, with regard to the solidarity contribution, again, the European Commission had set out an indicative rate, a 33% rate of a contribution on profits above where the profits are greater than their historic average, with the first 20% of that excess profit not being included. Again, we're setting a higher rate, 75%, recognising that with that 20% buffer, the marginal rate will be lower than that, but we thought it was an appropriate rate to make sure we generate or get those windfall gains to help the Irish consumer, Irish businesses. It's very difficult at this stage to know what the likely revenues will be because gas prices are changing by the day quite significantly. They've dropped dramatically from the really extreme highs. We were seeing prices of up to 600 pence a therm back in August. It's down to about 300 pence a therm today, and the forward price is likely to stay in that range. It's very hard to be certain because it obviously depends on developments in the war, what the weather might be this winter, but we're going to apply it for 2022 and 2023. And we expect the revenues, and again, this is very difficult to know, they're lower than we might have expected a number of months ago because the price has, as I said, fallen quite significantly since then, even if it is still at a very high level. But it's in the range of 340 million up to 1.9 billion. But that's a very wide range, but there for a reason because of the uncertainty around what the prices might be. There'll be a lot of work to do, legislation required to give us the ability to implement this. The European Union required us to have everything in place or have these terms and conditions in place by the 1st of December. That's why it went to Cabinet today. And I think it's a very progressive, further additional piece of the jigsaw that this government has put into place to protect our people through this extraordinary high energy price period. This is very technical, complex, but our department, I think, has done a really good job in teasing out all the details and putting forward what I think is a fair, pragmatic and practical approach to addressing this windfall gain.